We have a massive update on a potential WWE sale. In a new report from CNBC, it says that WWE is in advanced talks to be sold to Ari Emanuel's Endeavor Group. For those of you who don't know, that is the same company that owns the UFC. So yeah, we have quite a bit to talk about. Before we get started though, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Again, massive breaking news. The day of WrestleMania Sunday, we have this report that apparently WWE is in advanced talks with Endeavor. For those of you who don't know, again, Endeavor is a large parent company that bought the UFC a few years ago, and it looks like they're about to buy WWE as well, which would mean that WWE and UFC would be owned by the same company. And I know that sounds insane, that sounds crazy, but that's where we are. Another report found that they are finalizing a deal to buy WWE, and this could be announced as soon as tomorrow. So we're going to get apparently one of the biggest main events in WrestleMania history, followed by one of the biggest announcements in wrestling history. Because make no bones about it, WWE being sold is one of the biggest stories in the history of professional wrestling. I know we've said that a lot over the past few months and the past year, basically. But this, along with the Vince McMahon resigning thing, at the time at least, are the two biggest stories because they have the biggest impact on the future of the entire industry. Because WWE for decades has laid the groundwork for every single company, including AEW, including Ring of Honor, all these other companies. They've laid the groundwork for what the path to monetization is, what the business model is. It's been them for so long. And it looks like, look, eventually every company comes to the point where you have to at least entertain a sale. And we're at that point with WWE, and it's beyond entertainment at this point. It looks like this is what's going to happen. Apparently, Sean Ross Sapp weighed in on stuff. He said, this weekend there was buzz that a, quote, non-Saudi entity was leading the pack to finalize a potential sale with WWE. If correct, Endeavor would own both WWE and UFC. It is nuts to think that this is true, but it's the world we live in. And for those of you who are like thinking about or wondering, I should say, how much WWE or how much Endeavor would pay for an entity like WWE, the idea or like the thinking is they bought UFC all that time ago back in 2016 for about $4 billion. WWE currently has $3 billion deals, three separate $1 billion deals for their content. The price for this company, alongside like all of their other international streaming deals, their international rights deals, their merchandise, everything else, the live events, this company, in my opinion, again, I've heard these numbers thrown out there. This company is going to be sold for at least $6 billion. I think the number could be as high as 8 or 9. But the thing is, we won't know until it's officially announced. And it looks like it could be officially announced anytime in the next 24 hours. You would think that they would let WrestleMania happen and then announce it the next day on Raw to kind of keep the buzz going. And it would make sense to do that because you wouldn't want that to kind of overshadow your biggest show. But man, it is nuts. And if you looked at the way that WWE presented WrestleMania this year, it's a lot different than what we've seen it presented as in years past, right? Because we've seen, I think Triple H mentioned this last night. He said there were a record number of sponsorships at this WrestleMania. I think it was somewhere along the line of like 29, might be misquoting there, but it was definitely in the high 20s. And we saw the Cinnamon Toast Crunch thing. We saw the just sheer amount of TurboTax commercials that happened in the main event. We've never seen something like that before. And on top of that, the involvement of KSI, the involvement of Logan Paul, the involvement of all these pop culture icons. It's something that was always rooted in WrestleMania, but I don't think we've ever seen to this degree, and the involvement to this degree. Bad Bunny, for example, direct involvement throughout multiple matches just on the first night of WrestleMania. That's big, and it proves that WWE is no longer just a wrestling company. WWE is also and it is an entertainment company, obviously, but it's an institution. And I think the planning behind WrestleMania, or the thinking behind all this stuff in WrestleMania, had to have been how do like it had to have been, how do we present WWE as that institution that we know it is? And they did a wonderful job of doing it. And I think the price went up for it. And we'll see what ends up happening. Obviously, there is this, again, this is late breaking news, so if I sound like I'm tripping over my words, I'm also very tired from last night. I obviously am tripping over my words, so I apologize for that. I'm just trying to relay the most accurate information to you as best that I possibly can. So that's where we are. It looks like Endeavor is about to buy WWE. What a wacky world we live in, people. At least it's not Saudi Arabia. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this? Is this likely going to happen? Do you think this is going to happen? Is this all just a smokescreen? We'll see. It doesn't look like it's a smokescreen to me. If CNBC's reporting on it and multiple other outlets are kind of basically confirming it that it's likely going to happen tomorrow, I doubt that this is a smokescreen. But I want to hear from you. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already done so, do me a big favor. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.